This is quite a difficult question to answer because a lot of penalties have been taken over the period of time.
Okay, since you were a goalkeeper, which one would you say was the best save in recent memory?
Recent memory?
Yeah.
I will give glory to Daniel Ajay.
Okay.
In the last Under-20 World Cup, which was won by Ghana, he was brilliant in his penalty saves. So I think that is what vividly comes to my mind about the penalties.
I think it is actually the best. I think we top his saves top the list.
Yeah.
So far, he did fantastic. But do you think that we have a very good platform of nurturing goalkeepers to save penalties, and also players who are able to convert, kicks?
Penalty taking is part of the game, but not too much an integral part of the game, even though sometimes or most of the time it determines the results, But generally, football is about developing your technique, your insight in the game, and your communication skills. So these things are inculcated in the training sessions, because we have players who instinctively are very confident when it comes to taking spot kicks. You have most of the best players in the world who have lost penalty kicks to get their countries out of the competition or knocked out completely from most of the highest levels of the game. But it is not, the best players who are the best penalty takers. It's an art, and you must consciously make a conscious effort to train for this particular, penalty taking, because you must have a big temperament.
Exactly. Is it always a nerve-wracking moment?
Sure it is. Sure it is. But it takes, just as I said, you need to nurture it. You need to have the temperament to withstand.
So you need to be confident.
You need to be very, very confident. But most importantly, you need to be very, very technical when it comes to the penalty shots, because you have to be very decisive, know exactly what you want to do. You must be focused, you must be composed, you must be calm. That's why most of the time with goalkeeping, the goalkeeper must be able to read every single player and know his weak and strong points. So when it comes to penalty shootouts, he knows exactly what the player wants to do. That's why the goalkeeper must concentrate 90 minutes throughout the game.
Okay.
So it's part of.
So you need a goalkeeper whose reflexes are very sharp.
Very well.
Yes.
Very well. Not necessarily just the reflexes.
Okay.
You need to be very agile, and more so very flexible. But then this comes not in isolation. You need to make, training goalkeepers is not very different from training the outfield players. But you look at the components of the activities that go with training goalkeepers, because most of the time goalkeepers, they are trained, anaerobic. They need anaerobic power, which is, you train them with so much strength that they can always sprint. They have power to move, because we don't need the heart most of the time to function. We only need our strength and our judgment, to act, unlike the outfield players who need a lot of oxygen. So their heart, most of the time does the job. They need to do a lot of running, but we do very little running. The only thing is that our reaction is very important, very spontaneous.
Okay, but when you look at our history of football, I mean, we haven't won anything with our senior national team for over 30 years. And then you look at situations where we've had to depend on penalties, and you have an entire nation that has invested its emotions in a game, hoping that with just one kick we could be in the next stage that would redefine our love for the game. And then at that particular moment somebody bottles it. Typical case, South Africa 2010. Asamoah Gyan and the historic penalty that he took. Historic in a very negative way. Would you say that at that particular moment Asamoah Gyan felt there was too much pressure on him, there were too much expectations, or the Uruguayan goalkeeper was just the perfect person and got lucky?
It's a combination of factors.
Okay.
If you remember the game, when the penalty, Suarez handled the ball, if you can remember, who was the first player who went for the ball?
Stephen Appiah.
Why?
I don't know.
Very well. So even from the bench, you realize that Asamoah Gyan missed quite a number of scoring opportunities. This had to tell you he was very desperate and wanted to score by all means. So psychologically, he was not prepared. It is not about your ability or your capabilities, but psychological, are you prepared? Are you calm enough? You know. So at that particular point, Stephen Appiah picked up the ball, but Asamoah Gyan came and took the ball from him. So there shouldn't have been any kind of argument, because knowing Stephen Appiah for who he is,
he would have converted it. Yeah, he gave the ball back.
He gave the ball to him, and he went there, and the unexpected happened. So psychologically,
he wasn't,
mentally, he wasn't prepared to take that shot.
Okay.
But he went in for it.
Okay. But who decides, in that critical moment, who decides who takes the penalty? Is it between the captain and any of the players, or the coach pinpoints somebody out?
Normally, at training, players are always identified, those who have the nerve, the first 11, to go in for such spot kicks. You know, so most of the time, players are elected during the pre-match discussions and all that. It says, when in case there's a penalty kick during regulation time, you go in for the shot. So we always have a player who is in charge of taking those spot kicks. So the coaches always do this job in the locker room before they come onto the pitch. But sometimes on the pitch, on the field of play, decisions can be taken by the players themselves, because they are playing. The coach is seated on the bench. He's not involved. But all the things that go on the pitch is being felt by the players. So sometimes they take decisions. A player can boldly walk, pick up the ball and say, I want to do it. Yes, and the captain says, okay, come on, go ahead.
Right.
Yeah, then you go ahead and you do it.
Okay, that's a very interesting topic. And since you are a legend in, goalkeeping, you know those four poles very well. I mean, 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3. 3 of them.
Yeah.
I would have to bring you back to take us through, penalty kicks, good goalkeeping, considering that we're going to the World Cup, and you never know. I have a feeling that our game with Portugal, there will be a penalty for Ghana.
You don't mean it?
I'm serious. I'm dead serious. But we'll score.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that would be the winning goal.
Oh, then I'm excited to hear that. Let's hope that it comes to pass.
Hopefully. Thank you very much, Alaji
You're welcome,
Damba, for
Mama.
talking to us. We'll definitely bring you back to talk about penalties and goalkeeping. All right.